was in Oregon when the war started, on a bus headed for Washington, for Alaska.
Okay.
Anyway, I was on the bus when the war, on December 7th, the Pearl Harbor bombing. And so, finished the bus ride up onto Seattle, 2 more days, nights. Catch steamer to Alaska. We couldn't use any lights coming up the coast, and had to drive at night without lights because I was afraid submarines could locate targets by the light patterns. Well, my father's a building contractor, and I was raised with tools in my hand. And I was a carpenter's 4th year carpenter apprentice when I took the job to come to Alaska. We got on a steamer in Seattle and came on into Kodiak. And that's where I was first stationed for a number of months as a carpenter. I was with a company called Sims Drake, which was a large contracting company at that time. And they had projects all over Alaska. And they were putting a crew together to go out on the Aleutians. And so I was getting tired of Kodiak after, I don't know, 8, 9 months. Volunteered for that crew to go out towards the chain. Sandpoint was a pretty rugged area. We started and built the camp from scratch there, and I was there for several months. I don't remember an awful lot about it. The monotony of getting up every morning, putting on your rain gear, going out and getting wet, and building another foundation. And that was about it. There I got a nice letter from Uncle Sam saying he was giving a party and he couldn't bear to do without me. So I got the next boat back to California. And we lived in Hueneme, near Oxnard, California at the time, a family, didn't I? And Hueneme was the headquarters for the Seabees. And so being a carpenter and a construction man and so forth, I just hiked over to the gate and enlisted at the Seabees before the Army got me. Because I wanted to stay with the construction, there's no use to fight a battle as long as I was swinging a hammer. Got to boot camp, they put us through a physical, and I was kind of pink colored skin, and run a check on me and found I had scarlet fever. So they put me in the isolation ward, which is me and a nice looking nurse, and 15 or 20 beds, and I was the only one in there. So she and I got pretty well acquainted, and over a period of 8 weeks I was in there. Never did go out and climb any ropes or do any. So I got all my training in a nightgown. Put us on a ship, headed us towards Pearl Harbor. We were an organized group then, Seabees, CB 95. And from Hawaii, we just made trips to different strikes. After the landings, we'd go in behind them and do the building and reconstruct the airstrip or whatever we took over. And but I didn't see any real close contact action. The Marines pretty well protected us while we did work that they needed, like airstrips and buildings and mess halls, and would go in and take over an island, for instance, get rid of the Japs and reinstate the island with the Marines. Most of the time we were there maybe 3-4 weeks, and that was it. Back on the ship and back to Hawaii. We did that several times. I spent about half my time in Hawaii, about half my time in the field in one place or another. Lower Philippine Islands and some of those areas. But by the time we got ashore, although there was still some fighting going on, most of my contacts were pretty mundane. I mean, always had somebody looking after me. Except where we ended up when we ended up in Iwo Jima, towards the end of the war, we did get into some action there. But we'd dive into a dugout, you know, and Marines come in and take care of like they had several banzai attacks, you know, where the group of the Jap stragglers would get together and just come into a group shooting until they were all gone, until they were all dead, until the Japs were all dead. They sort of a banzai suicide attack. We were in a couple of those, but we just dove in a hole until it was over. It never lasted very long, a few hours. We were all armed, we all had carbine rifles. But it wasn't too exciting. It was a time or two, but we thought it might get exciting, but we're more scared than anything else. And we did go in with some of the original invaders, although they had the islands we were sitting down the island when they raised the flag and took over. Mount Suribachi was the big target. It was all back in the rocks, and it was hard to get at. And they had some big guns up there. Kept the ships kind of at a distance because they could reach out several miles. Pretty noisy at times. We really didn't live a very heavy military life. We were pretty free people, the Seabees were. But if you look back, we were pretty necessary too, because when the Marines were carrying guns and securing the island, they didn't have time to stop and rebuild the airport or rebuild the mess halls. So we did a good job, and we worked long hours, 12, 14 hours a day. But I don't remember living a military life. I never did get very militarized internally. I got scared a few times, but we were just a bunch of military civilians, construction people. And we kept to ourselves, and they kept us to ourselves. Some did. That never interested me. But yeah, there was quite a bit of tattooing went on. And but it seemed to be with the same type of people. And I was always pretty skinny too. I didn't have any big tattoo spots. All my tattoos have been very thin women, because I wasn't very wide or very big, and weighed 127 pounds. That's not very big.